YouTube, you're all really welcome. It has been 3 years since we met in person to celebrate Pride. It's been 50 years since the first Pride celebration and protests here in the UK. So in many ways, this is a momentous evening to be back together in person, even with the swell of COVID enveloping us. I want to make a special welcome and thank you to Rabbi Rachel Benjamin, that side of me, and Rabbi Indigo Raphael, who have put this service together with Karen Newman, wherever you are, Karen. Can't see you. There you are, right in the front. A welcome to Peggy Sherwood, longtime chair of the Jewish LGBT Group. A very warm welcome to you and to Alison, to Owen Power, LJ National Officer and Diversity Champion, to Rabbi Charlie Beginsky, Rabbi the LJ Chief Executive, and to your family, Charlie. Really great to see you all here. To Rabbi Nathan, who I already welcomed with Linda and members of your, or a member of your community in South London. Rabbi Mark Solomon, it's great to see you back after your recent operation, and we wish you a full refuah shlema. Rabbi Ariel Friedlander is joining us from Italy, from Bologna, I think, on Zoom. Welcome to you, Ariel. Welcome to Shan Knan Twilight Project, and involved in many other things, including Lily's legacy. I would like to, I'm sure there's something I've forgotten. I wrote a whole little welcome speech, but my printer broke, a few last minute other things, so please forgive me for not giving you a formal, lovely welcome, but I would like, with great pleasure, to hand over to Rabbi Indigo for our celebration.
Shabbat Shalom. We continue with our pre-Pride celebration with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvot tov v'tzivanu v'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, you sanctify us through your commandments and enjoin us to kindle the Shabbat lights.
Blessed are you, God of the universe, who sanctifies us with the commandment to love ourselves and one another in all our varied ways, and blesses us with a diamond-bright radiance that still ripples out from your first spoken words of creation. And altogether may we be enveloped in light and share our warmth and brightness with one another.
Please be seated.
When I see a rainbow, the flag flying from the lamppost, fluttering in the breeze, I know that God made a covenant between us. If we lived our lives in black and white, we would never see the promise that God made. To see all those colours together, it reminds me that God is there.
This version of Hine Matov reflects how good it is for Kulanu all of us LGBTQIA plus people to celebrate together in our varied binary and non-binary hues, and for our treasured friends and allies to be with us.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Hine matzov u'manayim she'etavim gam yachad. Hine matzov u'manayim she'etachayot gam yachad. Hine matzov she'et kulanu gam yachad. Hine matzov she'et kulanu gam yachad. That sounds great. Now let's split up. We're a little bit heavy on that side, so let's split up roughly around there. And yes, if you go there, Ruthie, and you two go that side. Sue and Helen, lovely. And but when you know when to stop. I'll let you know. Okay, yes, I will. Okay, this side. Let's see which side is going to be louder. Hine matzov u'manayim she'etavim gam yachad. Hine matzov u'manayim she'etachayot gam yachad. Hine matzov she'etavim gam yachad. Hine matzov she'etavim gam yachad. Hine matzov u'manayim she'etavim gam yachad. Hine matzov u'manayim she'etavim gam yachad. Hine matzov she'et kulanu gam yachad. Hine matzov she'et kulanu gam yachad. Hine matzov she'et ahim kulanu gam yachad. Hine matzov she'et kulanu gam yachad. Thank you, Karen. That's such a great sound. We come together this Shabbat, each bringing to this sanctuary a private world of hopes, of fears, of dreams. Some of us are burdened by anxieties and cares that all but crush our faith in the future. Others have hearts filled with happiness, grateful for the joys of the past week, yet aware that even the most fortunate are vulnerable before the mystery of tomorrow. Every life is a unique blending of joy and sorrow, of fulfillment and frustration. Beneath our uniqueness, we are all bound together by our common humanity. All of us most deeply yearn for the blessings of freedom and peace. Each of us seeks the personal liberation of a mind that is not enslaved to conventional wisdom, a heart that is able to love without fear, a spirit that cries yes to the universe. Each of us strives too for the inner peace that comes with finding a harmony between our aspirations and our abilities. This is the Shabbat peace to which we aspire. Israel, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Israel, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Israel, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol bnei Adam.
I now invite Rabbi Charlie up to our bima.
2 minutes, promise. We're in our 120th year. It's a really significant moment for Liberal Judaism, standing on this edge of a promised land. And it's kind of a place I think that Liberal Jews find ourselves wrestling with this moment of what does it mean that there's still work to do before we can enter some promised land. And it's not only 120 years of Liberal Judaism, but 50 years of pride. And as I was driving here with my children, I was telling them about how significant that is for Liberal Judaism, particularly. That actually we have led, thanks really to leading figures such as Rabbi Mark Solomon, as Rabbi Eli Tikva, as Rabbi Indigo, leading us into the edge of the promised land. With people like Sean who remind us how many more projects there still are to be done to take us into the next stage. With communities such as the LJS, with Rabbi Alex at its helm, leading us into making sure that this centre is where we have our Pride celebrations, right in the heart of our movement. So it is with pride that I stand here as the Chief Executive of Liberal Judaism, celebrating 50 years of Pride, 120 years of Liberal Judaism, of celebrating groups like our LGBTQI+ group, which really were the entry point for so many people back into Judaism or keeping Judaism alive for so many. But it's also with pride that I recognise that we have much work to do to really be the inclusive movement that we want to hold ourselves up to being. And that really, as we stand on this edge, ready for our next 120 years with strength not weakened or eyes still full of vision, but that know that together we can meet those challenges and we're up for it. We're ready for that moment. So thank you for giving me my 2 minutes, and it is real celebration and joy that we enter the next 50 years and the next 120 years together.
And now we have a message from Rainbow Rabbi Eli, who made this video for us.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm very sorry not to be with you in person for this special Liberal Judaism Pride Erev Shabbat service. It's a celebratory moment, and there is so much to celebrate. This year we're marking 120 years of Liberal Judaism. There's also another important anniversary. 20 years ago, Liberal Judaism adopted a policy of inclusion of lesbian and gay Jews. Of course, inclusion did not happen overnight. It took lesbian and gay Jews to come knocking at the door of Liberal Judaism, but the door was opened. In 2000, Rabbi Danny Rich convened a rabbinic working party on which I served, and in 2002, the whole movement endorsed a policy of inclusion of lesbian and gay Jews. Of course, full equality didn't happen overnight either. Many people were reluctant to use the word marriage. So the first step was same-sex commitment ceremonies, and a booklet of ceremonies was published in December 2005 to coincide with the Civil Partnership Act coming into force. But other steps followed. Liberal Judaism hosted important LGBTQ+ projects led by Surat Shan Kanaan, starting with Rainbow Jews, a heritage project making the history of LGBTQ+ Jews in Britain visible. After 2005, people across Britain began to get used to lesbian gay people getting married, even though that wasn't the official name for it. It was in this climate that in 2011, Liberal Judaism officially endorsed the Equal Marriage campaign and went on to extend equality and inclusion to embrace all LGBTQ+ Jews. But of course, it hasn't just been about policy, it's about practice. Today there are LJ synagogues providing all gender toilets, offering the option of non-gender binary bar mitzvah alongside bar and bat mitzvah, and holding transition ceremonies for trans Jews. There is so much to celebrate. Chag Pride Sameach and Shabbat Shalom.
Pride Prayer. Blessed are you, Eternal One our God, Spirit of the world, by whose word time passes. In wisdom you open heaven's gates. With divine discernment you make seasons change, causing the times to come and go, ordering the stars on their appointed paths through heaven's dome, all according to your will. Creator of the day and night, of wind and rain, it was you who spread a rainbow across the sky as an ot habrit, a sign of the covenant between you and all living things, telling us then and forever that all of us are your creation, blessed and approved of by you. Living and enduring God, remember your rainbow and remind us, now and always, that it is a symbol of your covenant, of your love, of your brilliant creativity and the endless variety of your creations. Blessed are you, Almighty One, who makes the colours of light shine forth, a vision of your glory.
Rainbow Rabbi Mark, who is with us here tonight, has made for us the following video.
Hello, I'm Rabbi Mark Solomon, and I wish everyone a happy Pride. Back in 1992, I became the first Orthodox rabbi in the UK to come out publicly as a gay man. I left Orthodox Judaism, but I wasn't sure at that time if any other Jewish community would be prepared to employ an openly... Hello, I'm Rabbi Mark Solomon, and I wish everyone a happy Pride. Back in 1992, I became the first Orthodox rabbi in the UK to come out publicly as a gay man. I left Orthodox Judaism, but I wasn't sure at that time if any other Jewish community would be prepared to employ an openly gay rabbi. Only a few months later, though, a liberal Jewish community did invite me to be their rabbi. And so for the last 30 years, I've found in liberal Judaism a warm and welcoming Jewish home, where I've been able to work with communities large and small around the UK without any shame or embarrassment, with myself and my partners being accepted warmly by every community. In the 1990s, the topic of same-sex commitment ceremonies was bitterly divisive, even within other progressive Jewish movements. In 1999, I decided to introduce the discussion of same-sex commitment ceremonies amongst my liberal rabbinic colleagues. And I found there a friendliness and warmth and acceptance that this was an issue of justice and equality that we should discuss, even though initially there wasn't complete agreement. But within a short time, liberal Judaism had embraced the idea of same-sex commitment ceremonies and begun the process of creating the very first liturgy for such ceremonies published by any religious movement in the world. Not long afterwards, Liberal Judaism became one of the first movements of any religion to embrace equal marriage. And more recently, we've been extending our religious documents for marriage, for conversion, and our rules to include fully people who are trans, non-binary, and intersex. Our journey continues, and I wish you all Chag Pride Sameach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen.
The prayer to all our people was written for Trans Day of Remembrance. Every year on the 20th of November, we commemorate the victims of transphobic violence. It is a very sad but necessary day to remind us that we have come far when it comes to LGBT plus rights and inclusion, but until transphobia, overt or obscured, is erased from all communities, including our own, we cannot rest or be silent. We used this title, Twilight People, for LJ's Interfaith project, the stories of trans and gender diverse people of faith, and we have produced a resource entitled A Roadmap to Inclusion, which you can get copies of in the foyer afterwards, and there's also an e-version downloadable, so please pick it up and help make our communities truly inclusive and diverse. Twilight People. As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We're all twilight people. We can never be fully labeled or defined. We are many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are in between roles at the intersection of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscross paths of memory and destination, streaks of light swirled together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither and all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to the God who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define, but we can always say a blessing. Together, blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight.
Shabbat Shalom. When I was a little boy, I prayed to God. I prayed God would make me a girl because I knew I wasn't really a boy, not inside. I didn't want to keep pretending to be a boy because it was hard to pretend all the time. I knew I couldn't go on forever pretending like that. It made me very tired and sad. I wondered why God would want me to be tired and sad every day, but I tried hard not to disappoint God. One morning, after praying like this for many years, I woke up and God had changed me. God had changed my tiredness into courage. God gave me the courage to tell the truth. God gave me the courage to tell people I wasn't a boy, even though it made some people laugh and some people get mad. God's courage has made me happy. God's courage has taught me to love myself. God's courage lets my outside be like my inside. God's courage gave me the gift of honesty. God is truth. I thank God for giving me the courage to tell the truth. I thank God for giving me the courage to be me. Thank you, God, for creating the infinitely complex universe and for creating infinitely complex me.
I'm going to read B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, adapted from a speech by Rabbi Adam Rosenwasser. One of the most important teachings of the Torah is V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. In the creation account of the book of Genesis, God creates us, B'Tselem Elohim, in God's image. That means that all of us, no matter our race, religion, gender identity, nationality, economic status, disability, or sexual orientation, are reflections of the divine being who created us all. Therefore, when we act with love and compassion toward one another, we become holy. But holiness is not enough. Being holy means we become aware of our task to fix this broken world. The biblical prophets urge us on with their words, justice, justice shall you pursue. Pursuing justice means that we will keep working until our objectives are achieved.
Rabbi Mark, please join us on the bima and lead us in channeling our inner Gloria Gaynor or Harvey Fierstein or both.
Well, I see it as my inner Jerry Herman, the queer Jewish writer, composer who wrote this. And we're going to sing the whole verse. You can't just stop after one line. So join in if you know the words. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I deal my own deck, sometimes the ace, sometimes the deuces. It's my life that I want to have a little pride in, my life, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can shout out, I am what I am. And we're going to say a blessing to conclude the prayer that Russell just read about the image of God, but I'm going to say it first in a feminine version, and then we'll say the one that's up there together. Brucha at Shechina, Ruchenu Chaye Ha'olam, Shasatni B'Tselem Ha'Elohut. We say together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shasani B'Tselem Elohim. Blessed are you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made us in God's image. Amen.
This poem encompasses polarities, the pain of misgendering and dysphoria, and the joy of liberation, and everything else in between. A time for questioning and a time for acceptance. a time to acknowledge and a time to sit in denial, a time to come out and a time to stay in, a time to fear and a time to be at peace, a time to be cheeky and a time to be demure, a time to call people by their chosen pronouns and a time to be misgendered, a time for bling and a time for the mundane, a time to be restrictive and a time to be nuanced, a time to be someone and a time to be me, a time to be a woman and a time to be a new kind of man, a time to engage with curiosity and a time to deal with voyeurism, a time for dysphoria and a time for euphoria.
A prayer for healing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, bless and heal all who are ill, all those injured by homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, prejudice, and violence, and all who are touched by AIDS, cancer, and life-threatening illness. Grant insight to those who bring healing, courage to those who live with physical and mental illness, love and strength to us all and all who love them. And let us say, Amen.
Please rise. Rabbi Ariel Freelander will lead us in the candle of remembrance.
We remember with love and pride all who are dear to us and now died. They were our partners, our lovers, our parents, our children, our families, our friends, our colleagues, our peers. We lived with them, argued with them, worked with them, fought with them, admired, respected, cherished and loved them. As we hold all our memories to bitter, we give thanks for the richness and diversity of their lives, the legacy of knowledge, wisdom, courage and love they bequeathed to us, and we rejoice in the remembrance of all that we shared. We also recall Rabbi Lionel Blue, Rabbi Sheila Schulman, Rabbi Erling Wildhouse de Cogney, and student Rabbi Andreas Hinz. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing and an inspiration. We hold them in our hearts. We remember that death is the common experience that knows no boundaries, linking us to our ancestors from the beginning of time, uniting us with all LGBTQIA+ people and the family of humankind across the face of the earth. We remember our own mortality and the brief span of our lives in this world. We pray that our lives may be meaningful and fulfilled, and we ask for the strength and courage to love, help, and sustain each other while we can. Let's say,
Please be seated.
We've been really worried about time, and I want to thank everybody for not taking too much time, so we're just about on target. The main announcement I want to make is that supper is in the Montefiore Hall. There is food for you to eat, but I'm asking you to not take too much time, because this evening isn't going to work unless we're back here in the sanctuary by 9 p.m., which is when the Pink Singers are going to start their first set. So you've only got a little over half an hour. I would like to ask you if any of you can help to clear up after the Pink Singers set has finished. We would very much appreciate it. Our caretakers have to make the place fit for Shabbat morning tomorrow. We'll have service in our religion school. So if any of you can help, that would be great. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed to the recent Liberal Judaism fundraiser, Bringing Judaism Home. The pages are still open, so if there's anybody out there who meant to contribute and didn't, if you give £20, it will be match funded, so it will be 40, and with gift aid, it'll even be 50. So if any of you kind of meant to contribute, if you go to the Liberal Judaism webpage, you can still contribute from there. Just wanted to let people know we have raised, thanks to people like you, over £160,000. So thank you all very much, those of you who did contribute. And as I say, there is still time. I personally would like to add my thanks to Rabbi Indigo and Rabbi Rachel. It is so wonderful to work with you two. And I hope that all of you have enjoyed this evening as much as we enjoyed putting it together. Thank you as ever to Rabbi Alexandra Wright and the Liberal Jewish Synagogue for their hospitality. And I'd like to give a special welcome to Greg Drinkwater from the United States. It's lovely that you're here. It's great to have you with us. A very warm welcome to you. And I want to finish by thanking Kez, because none of this could have happened without Kez. Her work has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you very much.
I also want to say a mega thank you to you, Karen, for your energy and dedication. Without that, this would not have happened. And I also think we made quite a spectacular threesome. Whether we are marching tomorrow or marching in our hearts, may we be blessed with strength in our diversity, courage in our challenges and our endeavors, and pride and joy in who we are. As we conclude part of our evening together, this is the 50th anniversary of the UK's first official Pride March, and the Stonewall Uprising of 1969 reminds us that Pride is not only a celebration, Pride is a protest, and there is still much to protest about.
We also say a big thank you to Peter for signing the service. Thank you so much, Peter. So we're going to finish with Song 4, Prayer for Peace, Od Yavo Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Chag Pride Sameach. Have a safe and a joyous Pride.
Shabbat Shalom.